Hello and welcome to the show. It has been a while since I have been back to a car mechanic simulator. However, there have been a variety of updates. Some are very, very interesting. We can now finally adjust gear ratio, so we no longer have cars stuck buzzing the limiter. And when it comes to mod support, well, you can now actually make circuits. So we go to the main gate here, for example, we can go to workshop maps. So we take the Zonda. I've downloaded a couple. I've got the Top Gear Test Track and Laguna Seca. There is one for the Nürburgring as well. There's one, I think, for Rainbow Road, and there's a couple of other circuits around the place as well. There's likely to be more and more tracks added. So now we've actually got proper race circuits to go and take the cars racing around. Yes, you might have noticed this strange contraption. Now, to be fair, I have had the Prius mod installed for a while. Just one never came up in my previous time of playing it. I did actually install an Aston Martin GT3 car mod that I was intending on using for this video to go and mess around with at various racetracks. However, this Prius came up first, and I think this will do the job. Supercharged V8 in this one. It's based on the, well, kind of loosely based on the GT300 Prius race car that they did actually make. I say loosely based on. I don't think that had a supercharged V8 in it. I could be wrong. So, crap ton of batteries. Unfortunately, you can't. There aren't like performance batteries. Would be helpful if there was. Would be really helpful if there were performance batteries, because then we could have a lot of speed out of this car. Now, I'm not going to strip this engine down entirely to do all of the kind of upgrading of parts. I've bought the bits that I think I can do fairly straightforwardly. So we are going to try and make this as quick. We're going to try and make this a decently fast, let's say decently fast Prius race car. It starts off with near enough 600 horsepower. We're going to be getting it up towards the 800-ish horsepower mark. Let's say 800-ish. That might be pushing it, although I don't actually know. I guess it is possible that we could get considerably... Well, so we could get a decent amount more power out of this. The big power gains you'll get from this car are going to come from the engine heads, which I'm not going to change because that requires basically dismantling the entire engine here. Other additions to this game with updates and so on, there have been some more performance parts added for vehicles like the Paganis. You now have got custom parts, custom performance parts for those in terms of like the exhaust system, in terms of like the intercooler and whatnot. So even those cars with kind of custom engines, well, I say custom engine, different engines, DLC cars essentially, that didn't previously have performance parts, they now do. It is primarily, as far as I am aware, on the Paganis. From what I can see, it's only those that have got new bits added on to them, not like some of the Lotus parts and whatnot, though admittedly the Pagani's engines were almost all entirely unique to them, whereas the Lotuses, for example, did have bits from other cars that you could modify. Let's go. Let's get the fiddly clips off. God, here. There we go. Get rid of the fiddly clips. Get rid of that. It's only going to be like a 1% increase, but when you've got a 600 horsepower engine, you know that 1%'s not terrible. It all adds up. Oh, no, not that one. It does all add up over the course of the car. The exhaust system for this car is perhaps a little bit peculiar, in that I'll show you when we get around the back. I think this Prius mod is perhaps a little bit of an older one. Haven't played around with it too much, but yeah, you have got the pretend exhaust pipes at the back, like you get a lot of mod cars, because we can't get custom parts at the moment, like actual custom sectional parts. You can kind of skew some bodywork into it. Yeah, so it kind of has to become part of the bodywork. But with this car, which I really like, is you can still do performance exhaust, because it lets you do, or it gives you this section of exhaust through the middle of the car, and then it still looks like they want it to, with the mid kind of mounted exhaust on that rear bumper, but I've still managed to put on the performance exhaust. And you're not going to see them because they're kind of hidden in the floor of the car. So that's quite cool. Also, it's got a massive bloody wing. I mean, it's got a massive wing. Like this whole lot here comes off in one big chunk, and then you have a fairly normal Prius. Aside from the unbelievably huge wheels, they do slightly rub, but let's not worry or think too much about any of that. Right, I think we'll put that bumper back on there. Oh, I was going to go do gearbox while I had the car up in the air. Yeah, because we have now got adjustable gearboxes, we can, if you want to go and make your silly powerful muscle car do 200 plus miles an hour, you are more than able to. Although I have got performance bits in here for the likes of the clutch, so we might as well just take all of this out. It's going to probably be, what, like 5% perhaps overall, with upgraded clutch and flywheel and whatnot, but again, 5% of all of the power, that might be a little bit more actually, if that bit there is, yeah, decent amount. It's probably going to be just a smidge over the 5% mark, but yeah, that's that works out quite nicely for me. Release bearing in there. Right, so we should have got. Oh, I might not have actually bought the gearbox because I was. I bought a bunch of parts. I was going to show you the gearbox. Yeah, so custom gearbox shop. Every car, as far as I'm aware, has now got the option to have a full-on customizable gearbox, which is perfect. So we will buy one of those. I don't actually know if they're any difference in price to a normal one. Let's go have a look, shall we? So is okay, yeah, they are more expensive. Never mind, ignore me. Ignore me. Yeah, so the normal one's 1.5. The other one was, yes, they're twice the price essentially. I get a little bit of discount because of the various perks that I've got as I've leveled up, and there we go. Custom gearbox is installed. Oh, I've still got power steering pump to do. I've got power steering pump and alternator to do. I got carried away with fitting all of this. I've got a very full inventory, I think, still hanging around, but never mind. There we go. Drive shaft is in. And then I think, yeah, we'll just mess around with the belts to squeeze that little bit more power out. I mean, as far as a vehicle goes to work on, as funny as it is, having a V8 engine in a Prius, it's not a huge amount of, I guess you could say, like, different things on the, again, being a mod car, it is just made up of components that you'll have seen on other vehicles. I get these belts off, and then we'll take off the minimal amount of stuff just so that we can mount the new alternator, so 1.5%, and so that we can get rid of the power steering pump and get a new one of those put on. There's another 1.5%. Right, I'd say the world's most powerful Pri, but it's probably not. It could be potentially on here. It's definitely going to be a very, very impressively powerful Pri by the time we are finished with it. Is mostly complete. I think it's mostly complete. Have I forgotten anything? Everything is 100%. Awesome. Now if we go into tune parts, there we go. We can tune what we want, how we want the car. Apparently, I don't think it's going to do 7,500 kilometers. I think that's just how much it could potentially do. Sure, let's go for the 400. Oh, we can go. You can add gears. That's an interesting one. I want a 2-speed Pri. I mean, fair enough. I mean, maybe not go for a 3,000 kilometer. That seems a little bit unnecessary, quite frankly. So there we go. For an example, we can save that gearbox setup. Oh, we've got a low tie hanging around in here. I forgot about you. If you could go, you can go park in the test path. Well, we won't worry about it in there. I'll forget about it, and I'll eventually just fill up this garage, and we'll get stuck not being able to move cars around to do anything with, because I've got all sorts. Everywhere's full, essentially. Right, Pri is in here. Still not used to quite looking at it, but there we go. Right, starts off 580 horsepower. I would like to see around and about the 700-ish horsepower mark from the car. Would be quite fun. to get 800 horsepower out of the car. It is going to be a 750 horsepower, considering I know the two engine heads are going to do another sort of further 20% on them easily before we even start getting into like pistons and so on. Yeah, you could easily push this up towards the 900 horsepower mark if you were so inclined. We're at the 750 horsepower mark, which is, let's face it, pretty damn good going. So, 750 horsepower Pri with a mighty wing is going to go to Laguna Seca. Well, here we are at the race circuit. It is a very, very sunny day, a very, very reflective day for our Pri. We are, yeah, on the grid at Laguna Seca. Now, I did very briefly load up these tracks just to make sure they all work and everything. Oh, there are a couple of things to bear in mind. As cool as they are to have, I mean, this is actually, whoa, a pretty damn good rendition. Oh, hello, car. A pretty good rendition of Laguna. Now, I'm not sure where these circuits have come from. I think I saw somewhere they've come from Forza, or some of them have come from Forza games. I'm not sure about this one in particular. So, yeah, it is a pretty solid actual rendition of Laguna. It does show up, shall we say, some of the car mechanic simulator handling issues, especially in a car that is this fast. The big issue that you have is, well, kind of steering sensitivity, if you like. Now, on the game's normal test track, well, the game's normal test track is a very technical circuit. The game's normal test track will slow speed, and you don't really have a huge amount of, apart from I guess for turn one, really, you're not really carrying very much in the way of speed when it comes to corners. Now, I'm driving this on a 360 controller, and you have got to be so smooth. Say so smooth. You've got to do just tiny movements, otherwise the back end lets go. And I did drive the Zonda R around here, and that was a very, very similar thing. It's not just because this is a mod car; it's just the way the handling works on this game. How fast can we get? Oh no, Pri. Uh-oh, it's tried to kill me immediately. Was that really quite necessary, car? I mean, I was going to say we'll do a little investigate. I'll see what happens if I go full lock left into the first corner. I didn't really need to. We kind of lost control already. If I go full lock left, I mean, it kind of actually did a very weird, peculiar thing there in sorting itself out. Now, this is not the fault of the mods. It's not the fault of the circuit. This is just the way that the game's handling works. I had hoped it might be better on a big track for not being such a fiddly bugger to drive. I think I was incorrect. I think if anything it's worse, especially as we start getting up to higher speeds. It's like it just doesn't center itself properly. It doesn't center itself properly at all around some of these corners. Oh, no. Go straight line, please, car. Yeah. I think that's one of the bigger issues with that. Doesn't center itself when you let off the steering, and then it is the twitchiest thing in existence. Hello, we've gone to the corkscrew backwards and around. Hey, I mean, it was a good recovery. If we could just have a lap without spinning, that would be cool. If we could have a lap without spinning, that would be really neat. Please, we'll try and get. I don't really know what's a good lap time around here with a GT300-esque supercharged Pri, but you know it's. We'll try and go for something. There we are, out of the final corner. I guess we've got to try and not touch the steering. The problem is, not touch the steering is all very well and good. We have got to take this kink. Oh, over turn one. We got away with only a small bounce on the wall. It's not a conventional racing line through there. There is a lot of grip in this car, if you can fathom out how to access that lot of grip. Like, you can carry a lot of corner speed. It feels like you can carry a lot of corner speed with the car if you could get it right. If you had enough control over it to get it right there. Oh, no. We are. We're back on the road. Well, I mean, we're back on the road again. This is about the wonkiest lap I've ever done. Like, if there was a ghost mode in this game, it would be highly entertaining to watch the ghost mode of this car, because it is just wonky, wobbly, wiggling around down the down the road, trying to get some sort of speed. That was not too shabby a corner. That was not too shabby a corner right there. Corkscrew might be about to go quite badly wrong. No, we've fought the car a lot on the way up towards it, and now down the corkscrew we go. Few more corners. I mean, these are not the... Whoa, I say these are not the worst corners, and we've just got airtime. That's not normally the place you have big issues at Laguna, but we survived it. That's the crucial bit here, is that we survived all of that. And sort of slam on the brakes. I'm pretty sure everything was locked there. But we've got it around. There's a run to the finish line. Come on, Pri. We can do it. It is a 1:25. Yeah, really cool to have the circuit. Really cool to have the circuit to drive around. Not so easy with the handling, but yeah, there we go. So mad supercharged Pri 125.2. Guess we shall go to the Top Gear test track and see how it fares there. Well, it might slightly look like the end of the world is going on. It's a very strange and troubling looking sky we have here at Top Gear, but we will try and lap the circuit in our Pri. Oh, do we have... Oh no, let's go. For a second there I got excited. Is the car... Something sorted itself out, and then no. At low speeds we're fine. At low speeds it does what you expect it to in the handling department. And then you get up to, well, higher speeds, which, let's face it, in this sort of car, you're going to get up to quite regularly. And then it gets very, very grumpy. I'm also curious to know, like, some places this doesn't seem too terrible. Okay, I was way too late on the brakes there. I was expecting the brakes to be kind of masterful. No, but I don't know why. However, I was kind of expecting the brakes to be pretty... I was expecting the handling model to let me get away with kind of more, if you like. Cones, I was hoping I got really itchy nose. Sorry. We'll just kind of coast through the follow through and so on. I was hoping the cones were going to send us to space if we ran over them, but unfortunately they do not. Right, let's go and park the car on the start line. Here we go, Pri. We're going to go... Oh, okay. Apparently we triggered the lap thing. We just did a 111 around the Top Gear test track, which is pretty bloody fast. That's pretty bloody fast. I know this is supposed to be a race car. Oh, he's also on, let's face it, racing slicks, which is not in keeping with the Top Gear rules. But I did also have a big crash. So, yeah, I mean it's pretty bloody quick if you can actually get the car under control. This bit here, it seems to be okay on the old... Oh no, there it goes again. I just got lucky, I guess. Nope, can't brake there. I've missed most of the course. Still think I can brake a lot later. I think I can brake a lot later, but I'm also often out of control heading towards the braking zone, which also doesn't make life easy. So little movements, there's a lot of cones, spewed furiously everywhere there, and we will be flat through there. There's a little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a slide, but never mind. And try not to lose the back end into the penultimate corner. Alright, let's line it up. Wee, hello, out, clonky clonkies. Okay, I'm going to line it up too close to the start line because the game's probably going to reset the lap time. But, there we go. Right, I don't know what a handbrake is, don't remember. Either way, let's go. We've got a tiny fraction of a rolling start as opposed to a standing start. It's the best that I can do, okay? No. Where are we going here? Yeah, like these... As I said, with Laguna, it's really cool having new tracks, new places to go and drive cars on this game. Slight issue is, if anything, they show off the handling issues even more. It's just not a very nice driving game. It's not a very nice driving game. Some cars are better than others when it comes to the handling department. Honestly, you're probably going to want a 200 or 300 horsepower car, and you're going to have a lot of fun with driving around here. The GT300 Prius is entertaining and so on, and it's cool getting big power figures out of silly cars, but the game physics can't really deal with them in the driving department. They're just too uncontrollable. I have no doubt if I could actually get a clean lap without spinning the car, you could probably lap here under a minute with this. Not very realistic lap times, but Yeah, mods are as ever very, very cool on here, and having more and more options is fantastic. Is that the Stig? Hold on! It is! The Stig has come out to watch! You have excellent... well, do you have excellent taste, sir? I don't know. There's a GT300 Pre and a... we're gonna go with you have excellent taste. That's fun. Yeah. Go with the low horsepower cars if you want to go have fun around these more wide open racetracks. They do really go to show the difficulties of the handling model, but having the ability for players now to be able to create maps for this game is very, very cool. Maybe at some point we will have something to get the handling physics to just center the steering properly. That's kind of what it needs most of all, is the ability for the cars to sort of center properly rather than just flail around. That though is going to be it for this video. You can find all of these mods that I've used on the Steam Workshop if you want to have a go with them yourself. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.